What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Blunders Rating Climb, the series where I spin a wheel, which tells me which mistake I need to make each game. I make that mistake, and then I try to recover and still win the game, so you can see the process from turning a bad position into a winning position, okay? Thank you, everybody in Chess Vibes Academy, for all the suggestions. I have a bunch of new things added to the wheel, so you can see there's a lot happening there. One big change. I'm going to be trying to play more normal opening moves and then play these blunders out of a regular position as opposed to just go crazy with like moving my queen all around, 10 times or something like that. That being said, it's 400 elo chess, so I can't promise what we're going to see here, but I'll do my best to give you those more normal positions, but I'm still going to have to follow the mistake. Okay? Having said that, let's go ahead and spin the wheel and see what we're going to get today. Game number one is going to be... Ooh... Don't defend F2 or F7. Okay, so I'm going to update this quickly here. Uh-oh, Canva is freezing on me. Not good. Not good. Not a good sign. Let's try this again. There we go. There we go. Okay. Don't defend F2 or F7. Let's update it. All right. We've got that set. Let's do this. And I am going to remove it from the wheel so that we don't get duplicates. Okay, let me turn off that. Start a game. Don't defend F2 or F7. So basically what this means is if they start attacking me here, I'm just going to ignore it and pretend like I don't really see that. Okay, so we'll play E4. And this one, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Let's just see. Let's just bring out my knight and we'll give him the opportunity. And I'm not going to be defending that. Okay, I'm just going to focus on other stuff. So... I don't know. I don't know how to play. How do I play without? I mean, I'm sort of defending it even by playing knight f3, right? Because I'm stopping the queen. I don't want to play d4 because that sort of prevents it. So let's just go bishop c4 and maybe no, castling would defend it. So we won't castle. We won't castle. This one's a weird one. This one's a weird one because if they don't attack me, oh, never mind. There you go. I'm not worried. I'm not worried at all. And if they come in, I have to let it happen. All right, I just have to let it happen. If they play knight g4, that'd be actually incredible. What are the odds that they play knight g4 right now and attack this? What are the odds, guys? Okay, I didn't think it was that high, but you never know. I'm gonna play 8. I'm gonna give them another chance. We're gonna give them another opportunity to go for the. They go with the bishop. Okay. All right. Well, you know what? That would be defending it. I could pin this knight. We'll play this. I'm just gonna still not worry about this. Doesn't look like they're gonna attack it though. That's the thing. So okay, they take. I'll take with a queen. I don't want to double up my pawns for no reason. You do have this interesting move, knight to d4, and maybe I will just pretend like I don't see this because it's on the other side, not f2, but it's sort of the same kind of a deal. So let's see if they go for this. I will let them get a fork if they see it. Might be a tough move to see though. Yeah, they just castle. All right. So I'm trying to see if they will do this. Let me see if I can bait them into playing knight to d4 here. I have a really good move, by the way. Knight to d5 would have been a great move because this is pinned and we would be just piling up on the pinned piece. So that would be a killer move. But in the spirit of going with this series, I'm trying to get myself into a bad... There we go. There we go. All right. So I'm going to pretend, for the sake of this blunder climb, that I don't see this. I see my queen. I'm going to move my queen away from danger. Cool. Save my queen. Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay, we're going to get forked. We're going to get forked. Maybe. Maybe we're going to get forked. I hope we're going to get forked. No, my level of confidence in 400 players has gone way up. So I think they'll see it. I actually think they'll see it. Nope. All right, let's go back. We'll give them another opportunity here. Give them another opportunity for the fork. And by the way, if this ever happens to you, you want to make sure that you're at least getting the knight. Okay. So, like, for example, I'm going to move my king to d2 to make sure that after this gets captured, I can take with the rook. If I go to, like, let's just say f1 or d1, oh, good. Well played to our opponent. All right, way to go. So if I go here, let's just say, then they could take it. I can't take them back right away, and the knight might actually just escape, and then I'm just down a full rook. That's really bad. So at least you want to make sure that you're getting the knight in return. So I'm going to go here so that I can at least recapture it. And notice also that it's trapped. So if for some reason my rook wasn't quite ready to capture it, that's okay. The knight is stuck, and I could do it at a later time. So for example, I just need one extra move to prepare. You know, maybe there was a piece blocking my rook or whatever the case may be, and I move the piece out of the way. Okay, now my rook is ready to attack the knight, and it's still trapped. Even though it's black's turn now, I'm still going to be able to take it next move. Okay, so we will do that next. I'm just giving them an opportunity to do something, but it's, you know, okay, great. So now we'll take the knight. Okay, so we lost a rook. Our king is a little bit exposed, but what are the positives about the position? Well, we have some nice pieces on good squares. This is a nice little pin. This is a nice bishop pointing at the king. My queen is kind of in a position to attack. We have an open file here. So when I'm looking at this position, I'm trying to think what I'm going to do. You want to identify the weakest spots in your opponent's position. What's the weakest spot for them right now? Well, this pin, so maybe knight to d5 is a move, or this bishop's undefended, so maybe rook f1 is a move. So let's talk through the differences between those two moves and which one might be more powerful. And honestly, it looks like it's going to be tough to tell. They both look very good. Why? This one looks very good because, number one, it comes with a tempo. I'm attacking the bishop, so the bishop has to move. And then my rook is in a really nice position, attacking that pinned piece to help me attack the king. If I take a rook that's in the corner, not really doing anything, put it on a nice half-open file, attacking the king. That's fantastic. Knight d5 is very similar, though. It's attacking that pinned piece. It's bringing up a knight, which was okay, into an even better square and attacking the king that way. So honestly, they both are probably relatively equal. I personally like to take pieces that are not doing anything and get them into the action. Also because it comes with the tempo, makes me think I can actually do both. So I start with this one. I assume they're going to save their bishop. And then we can jump in with the knight, and we actually get the best of both worlds. We get both pieces lined up on the pin piece. There you go. And that's what I'm going to do. Now, should I be concerned about this pawn? What do you guys think? I would say no. I would say my threat of this knight coming in with the bishop and the rook supporting the queen to attack the king is much more valuable than a pawn. The only thing that concerns me maybe is that if the pawn is gone, then the queen could come out and get me here. Okay. So they didn't notice the pin, and they just took my knight. So that makes it pretty easy for me. We obviously are going to just take the queen. But going back to what I was saying, like, you have to be careful when the queen can start coming into the attack. However, it looks to me like I could just sidestep. Queen can't come down because I just take it. I don't see any follow-up moves. I think I would be okay. So, all right, so they take back, and I think we're probably going to take back here with the bishop. I don't want to block my bishop, so I'm not taking with the pawn. I'm going to keep the diagonals open. You notice I have a nice little attack here on f7. So that's going to be tough for black to deal with. The bishop's on the wrong color, can't defend. Yeah, they move the king, not a great move. We're going to come down with the rook, put him in check. And if they go here, we do have a checkmate. And if they go here, stepping in line with the bishop, that's not going to end well either. So it's really just a bad situation for black. Okay, and they do go here. We can go for the checkmate on e6. All right, let's check the game review quickly, see what's our accuracy on this one. We got 10 wins so far. Okay, 67-48. Yeah, not so great. And I was playing some really weird stuff earlier. Okay. All right, let's go ahead, pull up the blunder wheel again, and give it a spin. Push pawns in front of king. All right, I'm going to update that. We will remove it. So this one's interesting. And I think what I'm probably going to do for this one is castle and then push the pawns in front of my king. I think that's what I'm going to do. So we can see how that looks. So, okay, we'll play d5. We'll just kind of play some normal moves here. We'll play knight f6. He's going with the stone wall. Interesting. Okay, we'll play e6. We'll bring out the bishop. We'll castle. And then I'll push these pawns in front of my king. And we'll see what happens. All right. Okay, so opponent's going for the solid stone wall, bringing in the knight. That's great. So let's say I'm like, okay, you know, I don't like this. I'm going to try to undermine here. So I'm going to play h6 and g5 and just bust that, you know, attack the pawn chain, but I'm using the pawns in front of my king, right? Obviously not a good strategy, guys. This is one of the principles you should follow. Don't push pawns in front of your king unless you have a very good reason. Wow. But he's doing the same thing. All right, let's go. Let's go. Now, of course, white's not castled over there, so it's a little bit different. I'll take it back. Okay, so we've definitely exposed ourselves here. And let's... should I start playing for real, or should I push one more pawn? Let me push one more pawn. So I'll defend this, and I'll push one more in front of my king. Okay, yep, he takes. We'll take back. Puts me in check. Let's just push it. This is actually a good move for me, so maybe I won't do that. The reason it's a good move is because it blocks this, and it allows... It opens up the 7th rank, so my queen, my rook can help defend. But I'll play it. There you go. We'll just push all the pawns in front of the king. He's probably going to take, and I'll just take back. Okay, he doesn't see the queen. And so it's important, you know, even if your opponent is playing bad moves and moving pawns in front of their king, you still have to watch out for stuff like this, right? Because if he loses too many pieces, you can't win, right? And our opponent's playing super quickly here. This is a pin. I'm not worried about that. And so I'm just going to develop a piece, right? Just develop a piece. We don't... Okay, he didn't notice it. Opponent's playing super fast, too fast. We will take the rook with check. Okay, so when your king is exposed, trading queens is almost always a good idea. Okay, because you're not going to get checkmated if you trade queens, probably. So should I trade queens? Well, because of my king is exposed, I would say absolutely. The other reason I should probably trade queens is 1, 2, 3. I have 3 pieces and 2 rooks. He only has 2 pieces and a rook. I'm up a rook and a piece. So trading gets me closer to the end game, which is exactly what I want. So absolutely, I'm going to do that. And then I'll take here with a check. It's a free pawn. Probably just go bishop d7, bring the other rook over, and pretty easy game. Obviously, our opponent didn't really challenge us because they gave us all the pieces. So this one was interesting. And since I already removed it from the wheel, I may play another game doing the same one because I think this could lead to some more interesting games. So let's try it one more time, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so my rook's under attack, so I will just move the rook over here, take a pawn, leaving the pin here on the knight. We can take that next. Notice my rook's cutting off the king, so it can't defend the knight. And so this is actually a safe pre-move, because I know there's no way that they can defend it. Okay. I'll come over here, take this pawn. We still have a pin on this guy. So we'll take it with the check, and then we'll grab the bishop. And there should be a checkmate here. Let's see if we can find it. Yes. Do you guys see it? There's mate in 2. So when you have the rooks on the second like this, it's always checkmate if you can just kind of go down and do a ladder mate if you can't just take your other rook. The way that I'm going to get around that problem is by going check to force the king over. Now it's no longer attacking this rook. Now I can simply go down checkmate. Okay? We'll check the game review. So unfortunately, the opponent was just moving way too quickly, blundered all their pieces, didn't really get a nice attack in. Yeah, so let's try that one more time, because I think this one's a really interesting one. that we can learn about defending our king when it's exposed and whatnot. So let's try this one more time. I'm just gonna leave it and play another game. Okay. That one was really quick too, so that's another reason why I think we should try that again. Okay, so let's kind of do the same thing. We're gonna castle kingside, and then we're gonna push the pawns in front of our king. I'll bring out the knight, attack the pawn here. Okay, let's go bishop c4. Castle. Oh, I wasn't expecting that. Okay, so we added an extra blunder there with the pre-move blunder, but I'm still gonna go with it. I'm still gonna go with it. So that was a sneaky move by the opponent. Very sneaky move, taking advantage of my castling pre-moves. Okay, so let's just go h3, g4. We're just gonna push our pawns. We're just gonna push our pawns in front of our king. And it looks like this guy is playing a bit more solid and taking their time. Our previous opponent was just blitzing through stuff. And so this should be a little bit more of an interesting game. I think we're already down a piece. So there's that. But yeah, I'm just going to throw these pawns forward. And then we will see what happens. Go g4. So our opponent is actually doing something amazing, which is when you push on the flank, one of the best ways to respond is a counterattack in the center, which is exactly what they are doing. And I am quite impressed by that. I'll take it. Probably not the greatest move, but I'll take it, and then I'll just keep pushing here. And so I think a smart plan from our opponent, I mean, for one option would be to trade this and then take here. That's not a bad move either. The issue with this is their king is still in the center. So they have to be careful if they're going to open up this, because now my rook can get involved. And I think I will do that. I'll go ahead and pin it, taking advantage of the fact that it can no longer take me. And black has to be a little careful, right? I think a smart plan for them would have been like something like queen d7 and castling, just to get away from that. Okay, 9 times out of 10, if someone brings out a bishop like this and attacks you or puts you in check, 9 times out of 10, the best response is going to be c3. Why? Because it comes with the tempo. They have to waste time moving their piece. That's a tempo in chess. And that's good. Why? Because after they save their bishop, guess what? Now I have time to probably capture this pawn or do whatever else I want to do. Yeah, and I think that's what I'll do. I could also try to, for example, kick the bishop away and take here, but no, I don't think we want to do that. Actually, maybe I do want to do that. Okay, I'm going to play d4. This is there's an idea here of playing d4, then playing c4 to make the bishop capture me so that I can take with the rook. Now, why would I want to take with the rook instead of taking with the pawn? It's because I want to attack the king. But I can't attack the king if my pawn is blocking my own rook. There's no way for me to get rid of that pawn unless black is nice enough to take it for me, right? But what I'm doing instead is saying, no, I'm going to go here first. After you move your bishop somewhere, I'm going to go here. Yeah, I'm going to give up a pawn. Okay, they didn't move their bishop. Well, I was going to give up a pawn, and I was going to take with the rook, and then I was going to be able to attack the king. But since they just let me take it, I am going to just recapture the bishop. Yeah, and that's smart. That's smart by the opponent. They were noticing that it actually wasn't a blunder, it was a trade. So this guy is playing on a whole nother level than our previous opponent. So in a position like this, it's kind of the same thought process. What are my opponent's biggest weaknesses? What are my biggest weaknesses? And then how do we, go from there? My opponent doesn't have very many weaknesses right now. You could argue the king is in the center, but this is actually pretty solid. Even if I were to try to attack it again, I'm not even threatening anything. They could even just play f6 and I have to waste time. So black's position is very solid. My position, on the other hand, is not. And it's because of this area right here. Because I've ruined this. So how do I choose a move? Well, my moves should focus on defending the weakest spots in my position. I need pieces over here. I need pieces over here to help block, to help defend, to somehow try to survive. So I think I'm going to play bishop f4. And the idea is maybe I tuck my bishop here and I get a little bit of coverage on my king. Now I have to be careful about this square. If this queen comes up and over and down, that's checkmate, right? So that's one thing. I'm thinking I can block that off. Also have to watch that it doesn't come in this way. So that's my biggest concern right now. Let's go knight d2. Again, getting another piece. Maybe this knight comes back here and goes to e3 to help defend. Maybe we just end up taking the pawn, actually, if they don't stop me. And we slowly try to work on the king's safety. I don't even care about that. Like, it's not even worth my time at this point. It's not a priority. These are doubled pawns anyway. If they take me, it messes up their pawn structure, so I don't even care. Don't even care. I think I do care about this because that pawn is very annoying. It's controlling this critical square. I think I will take it. Now, the bishop is a bit of a problem, but we got to start somewhere. So yeah, let's go ahead and take it. And we're just going to kind of chip away at this. Maybe in the future, and maybe even now, I could think about playing c4, maybe b3 first and then c4. I want to get this bishop out of here. Bishop is too powerful. If we get rid of this bishop, for example, if they trade this, now all of a sudden I'm starting to feel like my position is a bit more solid. So I definitely think I want to do that. Let's see, do I have time to play b3, or do we need to just, you know, desperate times, desperate measures kind of a thing? Huh. So on one hand, I'm like, okay, if we go here, we trade queens. Now I don't have to get checkmated. The other hand, I'm down a piece. Remember that mouse slip earlier? Or not mouse slip, the pre-move. I'm down a piece. So might be risky to go into an endgame down a piece. This is what you have to weigh, right? Like what's more important? Keep the queens on the board to not trade pieces? Or am I going to get checkmated if I do that? I'm starting to feel like I'm getting a little bit safer. So I'll try to wait. And we'll try to play c4. Okay, solid move by the opponent. Attacking my bishop. Remember what I said. I want to defend my king. So I'm going to drop back. It defends the pawn. It monitors the squares that the knight can go to. This is like a default move. If the knight attacks your bishop, just drop it back to where the bishop controls all the squares that the knight can go. Usually a pretty good space. And it's helping to defend my king a little bit. Okay, what's happening here, guys? What is happening here? Whenever you have multiple pieces on the chessboard, all attacking each other at the same time, you need to pause. You need to stop. You need to say, hold on a minute. What's going on here? There might be a tactic. There might be a tactic. This is attacking this. This is defending this. This is attacking this. This is attacking this. This is defending this. Wait a second, right? Like, that's how your brain should think. Like, wait a second. There's a lot going. Let's just look for tactics. It doesn't mean that there's always tactics, but you need to look. In this case, I do see a tactic. Do you guys see what it is? It's called I believe this would be a removing the guard tactic. So this is guarding the bishop. So we're going to trade, forcing it to leave. Also called maybe an overload tactic, where the queen is overloaded. So it's doing too many things. The queen is doing two things at the same time. So all we have to do is take here with the check. Of course, they have to take us. Otherwise, we take their queen. They, do anything else. And then we take the bishop. Okay, and all of a sudden, just like that, one mistake, we're back in the game. Probably even better. They blundered a piece. So they blundered the two pieces because we got... Actually, no, yeah, this was the first blunder. The other one was a trade. So they blundered the piece back. And we've brought pieces over to guard our king to where now I feel like we're much safer. Okay, what's the threat? Tax my queen. Can I take a free knight? No, it's defended. Can I take a free pawn? Yes, I probably could. Is that going to put me in danger? I don't think so. So we'll take the free pawn. And now, for the first time in the game, I believe, we are ahead in material. Queen, queen, rook, rook, knight, knight, bishop, bishop. And then we have an extra pawn. We have 3 against 2. So now trading pieces takes me to an endgame that I'm happy with. All right, let's see. This is defended. This is not defended. And he's taking advantage of the fact that I don't have a pawn here like I normally would. And so we are going to have to kind of pay attention to that. So option number 1, defend. I don't like it. I'll tell you why I don't like it. Queen comes down, pins me, attacks me. I'm on the defensive. Maybe I could survive with queen f5, but I don't want to put myself in that situation. I can move. Move here. I can move here. Knight d4 looks pretty good. Trying to trade. But I'm also thinking about a counter-attacking move. Rook e1. Basically saying, look, you don't have time to take me. I'll take your queen. The queen is guarding the knight. If I could make it leave, then I could take the knight. Also, we might open up some back rank opportunities. Definitely think that's the smart thing to do. Let's go with the aggressive counterattack rather than defending. Let's see what black's going to do about their queen. Queen d7 would probably be a pretty nice move. Knight to e5. Now, again, my spidey sense, whatever you want to call it, is going off like saying, Nelson, look for tactics. Like, they just put themselves into a pin. We have a lot of pieces attacking it. We have threats here. Again, it's the same situation, right? Like, oh, there's probably a tactic here. Like, you should be recognizing, wait a second. And the most obvious is 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 pieces attacking this. It only has 2 defenders. So I don't even have to get fancy or complicated. I just take it the free piece. My knight's under attack, so probably should start with that one. So we just take it. Right? Just basic math. 4 is more than 2. Right? So okay, so they take back, and probably doesn't matter. I mean, trading queens is good, so that's definitely one good option. Bringing up the rook is probably a good option. Back rank is fine because I can just escape. But I'll go with the queen and try to just force the issue. Actually, I say try. I am forcing the issue because if they take me, we trade. If they don't take me and they move, I'm going to go there and checkmate them. So they do have to trade. Now, which way should I take back? Bishop would defend the pawn, but I'm not worried about defending the pawn because I am eyeing this. I'm going to move up, and they better be very careful. Okay. Man, this guy is playing pretty well. Yeah, they noticed it. So what do? I think a lot of beginners would just check them anyway, right? I'm not going to do that. Here's why. If I check them, their king escapes. Then I move somewhere. Their king is coming into the game. Their king is going to wreak havoc in the position. Their king's going to take all my pieces. Okay, probably not. But you never know. Like, it could happen. It could happen. It has happened in games before where the king just comes and takes everything. So, rook e7. No. That king's not taking anything because it's not coming off the back rank, at least not easily. And in the meantime, I'm just going to take all the pawns. Rook's on the 7th. Powerful concept. Don't forget about it. Now, I am looking at my time, and I'm seeing 1 minute and 30 seconds, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, we don't want to lose this game on time. Excuse me. So we need to start thinking about finishing it. What's the easiest way to win a game of chess at the end? That's right. Get a queen. Here we go. Time has come. I'm low on time. Push it. I'm choosing this one because it's got support of the rook, at least most of the way up. And then we will figure out what we're doing from there. But this is how I'm going to win the game quickly. I mean, I don't care if he takes this. I don't care if he pushes some things over here and takes these. Maybe at some point if like my bishop gets attacked. But otherwise, I don't care. This is all I care about. Push my pawn here and get a queen. If I can do that, game is easy. But don't overcomplicate it. Just do what you need to do. Make it happen. Check. And you'll notice this beautiful bishop here is now supporting my pawn. That's amazing. Okay, so what do? I need to be able to push this. So if I can do something with check, that's going to give me time to push it. Also, it's going to force the king to go away. so that the king and the rook don't take my new queen. So this is the move. Force the king away. Then we get the queen, which means they have to sacrifice their rook. And it's an easy game. Okay, so that's how you do it. And the bishop, very powerful, obviously, is making my life easy. If I didn't have the bishop, we'd have to get a little bit more creative. Probably if I didn't have the bishop, what I would be doing would be running my king over there somehow to help some way. But since we have it, we just get the queen. We take it back. And again, I'm low on time. I don't want to mess this up. What should I do? I'm going to take this pawn, and I'm going to get another queen. Easy. That's it. And to make my life super easy, look at the bishop. Look at my rook. This guy is now defended, and it's making this impregnable wall. King can't cross. I just get a queen and I win. Easy. You can even pre-move it. Save yourself some time if you want. And that's going to be game over. If black wanted to, they could have, tried to run over here and survive, but didn't happen. Okay, almost got me there, but it does too late. We get the queen and we win. Okay, so at the end of the game, you're low on time. Push the pawns, get a queen. That's the easy way. All right, let's check the game review. Yeah, that was a pretty good game. Our opponent played well. So yeah, props to the opponent. I mean, that was a solid game from a 400 rated player. It really was. Okay. Blunder wheel. Where's it at? Where's it at? Where's the blunder wheel? I lost it. Sorry, guys. There it is. Here we go. Here we go. What's it going to be? It's going to be this time. Same piece 3 times. Okay. We're going to be moving the same piece 3 times. I feel like that one's not too bad. Let's remove it from the wheel. I feel like that one's not too bad. All right, let's go. So same piece. Let me make a couple of moves normal and then figure out which piece I'm going to move 3 times. A couple of normal moves, and then maybe I'll do this bishop. Maybe I'll just move this bishop. Well, I was gonna move it there. All right, we'll give him an opportunity. He can chase my bishop around. I'm just gonna move this bishop a few times. So I'll just go there. I'll probably move it here. It's probably gonna get attacked. I'll have to move it again. This is not a huge deal at this level. It's not gonna make a big difference at 400 elo, but against a stronger player, this is a big mistake. Like moving the same piece multiple times is a big mistake because at the higher levels, they will be developing pieces every single move. And while you're just moving your piece around, they're getting all their pieces out. I'll take this way. I want to let my bishop out and bring it over here. I think we've moved it more than 3 times, but I'm just going to go a little bit extreme with this. I want to give them a lead in development. That's the whole point, right? They have to get a lead in development. So I want to wait till they get their pieces out. Very good. Go back here. Hopefully they play knight c3 now. Yeah. And then we'll go one more time. So this is what happens. You're playing against a good player. They're going to blow you off the board if they get a position like this because they're going to start attacking you. They're going to be pushing. They're going to open up the king. You're going to just be in trouble, right? At 400 elo, they don't really know how to punish you for it. So I'm going to be fine. I'm going to have time to catch up. But yeah, it's a big mistake later on. Okay? And we've now successfully, yeah, that's good. That's good. They're starting to think about ways to attack. So again, what do? Well, we need to figure out the biggest weakness and deal with it. I don't have any actually major weaknesses. I guess maybe the queen coming here is one thing that would bother me, or the queen coming here. So what's the easiest way to deal with that? Knight f6. We stop one immediately. And how can we meet this? We just castle. This is the typical way to defend f7 easily and quickly. You castle. Then your rook is defended. and your king can always run into the corner if it needs to for some reason. So castling, super easy. And by the way, castling is usually a move that you want to play anyway. So if you can defend a weakness and, castle. Yeah, this is good. Our opponent's doing a good job. Basically trying to bust open things before I have time to finish my development. So that's very smart. I think I'll take it. These are doubled pawns, so probably makes sense to get rid of one of my doubled pawns or one of these center pawns. And then I think we got a castle. We got to get out of here, right? Because we wasted so much time moving our bishop back and forth. Like if we waste any more, that's not going to end well for us. So I'm going to go ahead and castle. And now we have successfully kind of survived, and somehow we have a relatively even position, right? So it wasn't too bad, but like I said, it's because we're at the 400 level. You try that at 1800 plus, you're gonna get blown off the board. So don't do it. Okay, rook e1. What's the threat? Attacking my bishop. That's defended. Not a big deal. Still want to keep developing, so I'll go bishop f5. Really the only decent square that was available. Ooh, g3. Not a great move by the opponent. Creating unnecessary weaknesses around their king. Now, I don't know if we could take advantage of it immediately, but I'm going to keep an eye on that. I'm going to move my bishop to d6 because I want to get my rook here and start putting pressure on some of these pieces. Also, I like that it defends this pawn. If we end up having to trade it, it's not the end of the world, but I think it's important that we get the rook involved here on the e-file. Okay, so he's going for the pin. I don't think that changes my plan. I think we just play the rook, and now we actually have a threat on the knight. Of course, if they take me, I can just recapture and bring out the queen to a good square. And they do, and I think that's what I'm going to do. I don't want to do this and open up my king unnecessarily, right? So we take with the queen. And again, the knight is definitely under fire now. I would expect to see it move back. And actually, if it moves back to f3, we now will see the big drawback of this g3 move. Knight f3, I'm going to pin it. And not only is it a pin, you don't have the support of the pawn. And that's a very bad situation for white to be in. Okay, so they go somewhere else. Probably a smart choice. Avoid the pin. Probably a smart choice. So we have the bishops against the knights on a relatively open board. That's a good thing. So I don't really want to give this up unless I have to. That being said, I also want to get this other rook into the game, so I'm thinking about bringing it over. And I'm also thinking about how can I take advantage of these weaknesses with my bishop. Whenever someone fianchettos like this, where normally you would fianchetto a bishop, but they don't have the bishop and you do, that is a huge red flag of like, hey, this is where you should probably attack. So I'm thinking about bishop h3. I'm just not sure how to get my queen in easily. And I say that, but actually I do see a way. So what do you guys think? How can I easily get my queen in here for the checkmate in the next couple of moves? Well, hopefully you noticed if I would have taken that rook and they take back, it lures the queen away. So this is kind of a smart move from white's perspective. Now, the bad news for white is it brings my other rook into the game and I have a really nice rook. But at least they avoid that. Okay. We have, I think, an amazing move, but I want to ask you guys a question. Should we do it or not? The move is rook e1 check, luring the queen away so that I can come down and deliver the checkmate. Should I do it? All right. I hope you said no. I hope you said no. And the reason is because check, they go. We come down. Looks amazing. Looks like they can't stop it unless they're going to sacrifice their queen, which is almost true. But there's a checkmate. We get checkmated first. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to take this back. And I'm taking with the pawn because I want to leave my queen in position to quickly come down here if we can figure out a way to lure this guy away. Okay? And the problem for white is they're going to have to deal with this forever. For the rest of the game, they have to deal with this because they played g3 earlier. Remember I said that? That was like, 8 moves ago or whatever, 6 moves ago. But it's the problem for them now. Should I take this, or is that a trap? The answer is I should take it. And you might be thinking, no, Nelson, you're back, right? You're going to get checkmated. Aha, but watch the bishop, right? Watch the bishop. It's guarding, and it's still worth to getting a free piece. I mean, yeah, you have to be careful. You definitely have to be careful. Ooh. But if you've got it defended, you're fine. You have to calculate carefully. You have to calculate accurately. You have to make sure you're paying attention to those details. But as long as it's defended, you're good to go, right? So it was a free piece. Yeah, and I think the opponent was trying to play a very clever move, right? They were trying to trap me. They just forgot that the bishop can move backwards. So at this point, it's pretty much over. Of course, we have the extra material, but even if they hadn't blundered, this constant weakness here was going to, lead to something bad for them anyway, right? You can't really get around it, which really goes to show, and I want to make sure that you understand this, pushing those pawns in front of your king, even if you don't see an immediate way, it's going to happen later. It's going to happen later. You're going to get into trouble. You're going to regret that decision later. So you really try not to do that. Now, if you have to push a pawn in front of your king, usually h3 is the lesser of the evils because you don't get so many weaknesses like with g3 here. So just keep that in mind. But anyway, back to the game. So how do we finish this off the fastest way possible? I'm going to go here. If I trade queens, that's going to make my life very easy. Of course, the only way that I could possibly lose this game would be some sort of back rank checkmate or blundering a piece. So by going here, my pieces are defended. This is, like I said, the only way I could potentially lose. So if I make some random rook move, that's what you have to watch out for. I'm not going to do that. I'll play bishop h3, and now I'm the one going for the back rank checkmate. Again, make sure you're paying attention. Is it guarded? Can he come here? No, there's a pawn in the way. So we're good. But you got to make sure you're looking at that, or you could throw the game away, okay? And now I think white is in big trouble. You've got, yeah, they're trying. I got to give them credit. They're trying. We could take the queen, but we have a checkmate. So we'll do that instead. Okay? Good game to the opponent. Let's check the game review. Yep, 78. Okay, so we kind of got into a bad position when we were moving the bishop around, back and forth, so many times. But they didn't really push, right? So, like, what should white have done? I think knight c3 was good. I think here you need to start attacking, right? You've got all your pieces out. You're castled. Now you need to attack. Maybe that's d5. Stockfish is saying queen b3, getting ready to maybe jump in with the knight. But you got to attack, right? Rook c1, not really an attacking move. Like, this is not really doing much. I would have preferred maybe rook e1 because at least that's lined up on the king. I could see a little bit more value there. But yeah, d5, rook e1, just go. Attack. Bust it open. That's how you take advantage of this, right? They didn't do it fast enough. And eventually, I figured it out that I'm not really getting anything done by moving my bishop back and forth. All right, it's probably time to start developing. And I was able to get castled, and now my position's not that bad. Okay? All right, here we go. Blunder wheel. Let's go. Ooh, interesting one here. Okay, blunder first mate chance. So what this one means is the first time in the game when I can checkmate them, I have to pretend like I don't see it. Okay? First time I can checkmate them, I have to pretend like I don't see it. Now, that yeah, that's not really going to be much of a blunder. So this is going to be kind of like a normal game. I guess I was going to say we could change it to where I blunder the first time. If they threaten mate on me, I pretend like I don't see it. Then I'll definitely lose if they do that. Yeah, I think the way it was intended was I have a checkmate and I didn't see it. So we'll go with that. I have a checkmate and I don't see it. But apart from that, I guess I'm just going to be playing some good moves. So probably going to have multiple mate opportunities if I'm playing good chess, right? That being said, the opponent seems to be disconnected, so we may... Oh yeah, member is offline. Interesting. Okay. All right, I'm going to go ahead and abort and try again since that person's not there. Okay, here we go. So let's just play some normal moves. Get a pawn in the center. H4. All right. I'll go bishop c5. And maybe I will go for the... No, they stopped it. All right. Let's play knight c6. Just developing our pieces, defending the threat. Sometimes there's a tactic here where they could sack and fork your pieces, but he just doesn't go for it. Yeah, if they play like queen f3 and I blunder the first mate, that's game over. That's it. So I'm not going to let that happen. I'll just play knight f6. Okay. We'll just play d6. We're just trying to get all our pieces developed quickly. Okay, we could take it. We don't have to take it. Then we have to move our knight. I don't really know if I like that. I think I'm going to chase this guy away. And the reason is not so much that I care about the knight sitting there. It's more about this pawn. I'd like to take this pawn. So I'm going to play h6 to try to get the knight to move back so I can take the pawn. Of course, they could trade here first if they want, which is totally fine. Yep. And now I will take with the queen, and then they will probably go back. Now, if they let me do this, that's perfect. We won't do it. And we blunder the mate. Okay. There's my blunder. There it is. Oh, no, I don't see it. I don't see it. I was too focused. I was too focused on the knight. And I was not paying attention to the check. Oh, my goodness. Wow. Wow. Is it me or did the 400s play better than 500? I think 400 ELO is better than 500. That's my opinion. So, yeah, I don't really have much to say about that. I think we just go 38 accuracy, by the way. I had 56, so I shouldn't be talking. Yeah. All right, we're going to spin the wheel again. That was underwhelming. What do we have? What is this? Lose a piece from the removing the guard tactic. Okay. Wow, that's going to be a lot of text. I don't even know if you can read that. It's upside down for some reason. Canva. I don't know what Canva's doing. So removing the guard tactic. Okay, so we're gonna. This is kind of an advanced tactic, so I don't know if we're even gonna see this, but we'll give it a shot. Removing the guard is essentially you've got a piece that's defending something, but it gets lured away. It's not actually defending something. So I'm gonna try to set myself up for this somehow, and this will probably happen in the middle game. I'm expecting. So let's just kind of go on with the game. And I'm going to look for the opportunity to do that, okay? Yeah, we'll play the 4 knights. We'll bring out both knights. Get a pawn in the center. So, like, yeah, this could be a good opportunity. So, like, for example, if they take me, perfect. So there's an attack here. If my queen gets lured away somehow by something that happens, then I'm going to be losing my knight. So I think I'm going to do is go bishop e7 and bring my bishop somewhere, like maybe over here. That would be a great way. Bishop e7, bishop h4. And then I have a problem because if they take me, they've sort of removed the guard here on my knight on d5. So that's what I'll do. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I don't really know how to set this up. How do I set this up? Good question. I want to try to make them go back. I want to try to make them go back so I can go here. It's like the game within the game. How do you make the blunder happen before you can finish the game? Just go back, dude. Just go back. Just be smart. Be smart about this. I know what you're thinking. Don't do it. I know exactly what you're thinking. Don't do it. Just go back here. All right. They didn't listen to me. They didn't listen to me. All right. I'm going to take it. They're going to go for the fork. I do have knight f6, but maybe I shouldn't play that. It's not the fried liver because in the fried liver, there's like a bishop on c4 pinning your knight. So if they go queen f3, you can't go knight f6. It's pinned. So the only way to save your knight is to go king e6. But this is not the same situation. Yeah, they got a little confused because I have knight f6. But I'm still trying to blunder this removing the guard tactic. So I could just go there. You know what? I could pretend like I don't notice this. I could pretend like I don't notice that. That's a decent way to blunder. That's a decent way to blunder. It's not exactly removing the guard, but I mean, I got to work with what my opponent is doing, right, guys? So I'm gonna go for it. I forgot they removed the guard, sort of, not really, but you know. Okay, perfect. Perfect. So I guess we'll start playing good moves now. I mean, it's an even position though, so it's not much of a turnaround. But bishop or queen? Obviously, bishop. Why? I gain a tempo on the queen. The queen now has to move. I develop a piece. That's a good thing to do in the opening. I let my rook come into the game. That's a good thing to do in the opening. I get more control over the board. That's a good thing to do in the opening. Here's another one for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 pawns. They have 7 pawns. Everything else is equal. Queen, queen, 2 rooks, 3 pieces, which means queen trading is not beneficial to me. So all of those things, we need to bring out the bishop. Okay? And what we're going to do is use our lead in development. We have more pieces out than white does. We're about to get another one out because of the tempo that I keep talking about, right? Losing tempos early in the game. Okay? So which piece should we bring out? Probably the bishop, because then the rooks are connected. We have maximum options and possibilities with where we want to put them. So here, threatening a very weak spot. So even though the material kind of looks even, I think our position is much better because the lead in development is huge. And yeah, that's a great move, though. That's a great move. They played a really good move. Wonder if I could set up another situation where there's a removing the guard tactic. Somehow, like, yeah, probably not. We'll just play good moves. So I'm going to bring my knight forward. The idea is I'm threatening something. I'm also not giving up my strong attacking bishop. Usually the dark squared bishop is good at attacking because it's on the same color as the king. You get ideas here if it ever castles. There's ideas here. There's pin. You know, it's just a good piece. So I'm not giving that up. The pawn here, kind of irrelevant. Like, this is a much more powerful threat. I don't really care about this. And so, okay, yeah, that's a pretty good move. That's a pretty good move because they dealt with the threat and they got their king to safety. So well played to the opponent. All right, well played. So what do we do in a situation like this? Well, if you want to be aggressive, you want to think about, okay, how do you attack the king? What's the best way to attack the king? That's a good question. I'm thinking we play c6 and b5 and b4. Maybe I don't even need to play c6. I could just play b5 straight away. Guess I was thinking c6 kind of keeps the queen out. Not that I have to worry about that. Oh, yeah. You know what? I just noticed something, actually, guys. Just noticed something. I'm going to play c6. There's one piece on the board that is running out of squares, and c6 helps me. Can you see what I'm talking about? Can you see what I'm talking about? It's the queen. It's actually the queen. The queen cannot go this way, cannot go this way, cannot go this way, cannot go this way. Now, because I did this, cannot go this way. Cannot go this way because, sorry, cannot go this way because I will take it. So no, 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 no. You can't go that way because my knight. And you can't go here. What does that mean? What does that mean for us? It means I think we trap the queen. Even though the queen is in the center of the board, because I have so many pieces out, and they've blocked it from going back this way with their own bishop, we've actually trapped the queen. It's kind of amazing, but there you have it. That's a queen trap. So I didn't care about my bishop because I'm going to get a queen, right? It doesn't matter. I get a queen. Now, if white is smart, they will take this and then take this, and they will get at least 2 pieces for the queen, which is significant. That's a move I didn't think about. I don't think it works, but I like what they're thinking. They're thinking I take them, they move their queen back, and they've saved their queen. Smart. They're also thinking if I take, they take. And we end up trading. Smart. Can you guys see why it doesn't work? Why doesn't the idea that I just talked about, why doesn't it work for white? It's because I can take the bishop with check. And I'm still attacking the queen. I get a free bishop. And I get check. Now there's another layer to it. Because you will notice they do have queen e3. But that opens up yet another tactic. If you want to pause, try to find that one. How do we respond to queen e3? That's correct. We have the bishop lined up on the queen. If we could somehow move the knight out of the way, knight to b3 is a check. Also a discovered attack on the queen. And we just win the queen. So I admire what they tried to do there, though. That was smart. It just didn't quite work out. So we did get the queen after all, and we got the bishop. Yeah, I'll take this. It's a free pawn, and it comes with a tempo. So I know that it can't be too bad. Okay, so I'm looking at this position. I don't see too much. I guess I could attack the rook and force it to move over here. I'll go ahead and do that. But then I'm going to turn my attention to these rooks, because these are the biggest pieces that are not doing anything, right? They're just sitting here. They're just sitting here. We need to get them into the game, and so that's what we're going to focus on. Okay, they saved their rook. So when you're thinking about rooks, open files are where you want to start, which means I need to put a rook there. Which one should I do? This one. Why? 2 reasons. Number 1, I want to be able to tuck my king back if I need to get to safety, and it'll kind of be like I castled. Also, it looks like this guy could maybe have a home on d8. And so then I have both rooks on good squares. If I bring this rook, then I have the other guy just stuck in the corner, which is not ideal. That's why we chose this one. Okay. Brings his knight back. Let's just check it here, here, here. Nothing like is super concerning. Let's go ahead. Tuck my king away. It's nice and safe. Unleash the rook. I think I'm going to go down here. If you can ever double up on the open file, that's always a good thing. Notice how my bishop is actually stopping this guy from developing. And so white is really jammed up because of this. Probably they need to play h3. Yeah, smart. Very smart. I will go back. I'll make them play it, but g4 is what they really need to do. And then I'll probably just put my bishop here. Yeah, put it there. Notice how my king is nice and safe. I have a place I can just tuck it away. It's defended by the pawn, by the bishop. This is usually a pretty good strategy. You have your pawns on the opposite color of your bishop. Now, I didn't do that intentionally. It just kind of worked out that way this game. But now that I see it, I'm going to take advantage of it. I can tuck my king here, have a rock solid position for the king. Okay, talked about it earlier. Second rank, very great spot for the rook. Let's go. Comes with the tempo on the bishop. He does attack my queen. Let's save the queen. We'll go here. Probably I could have gone to d2 or to d4. Okay. So I could trade, but then he takes me. He gets his rook on the file. I have to move my queen. I'm going on the defensive. I don't like going on the defensive. So what I'm going to do instead, boom, just bring the other rook over. Now we have a triple battery lining up here. Okay, knight to d2 and knight to e2. I guess what I'm thinking is, do I have a big enough lead to sacrifice my queen, simplify all the pieces, and win the game? Because sometimes in a position like this, you could play for a while and you could get low on time and you're like, okay, how do I actually win? What's going on? And if you do have the option to somehow sacrifice your queen, maybe it's just worth it. For example, if I were to take here with check, and let's say he takes with the rook, and then I take, I don't know, the knight. Is my position good enough that I can just win? I think the answer is yes. And so I think that makes sense. And you have to realize I'm not sacrificing a lot by doing this. A queen is worth 9 points. The rook is 5 and the knight is 3. That's 8 points. So I'm essentially, I am going to do it, I'm essentially making a trade of 9 for 8. So I'm only sacrificing 1 pawn, but then I massively simplify the position, make my life easy, and we go on with the game. Okay, so that's, of course, you don't have to. I could have played, queen h2. I could have moved my queen somewhere else. I could have done any number of things, but that's a good thing to keep in mind, especially if you're getting low on time. They do take with the rook, and I'm going to take the knight instead of the bishop. Here's why. This bishop is a bad bishop. It's stuck here. You can't take me. You can't go here. You can't go there because I'll take you. You can't really move the bishop anywhere, and it's attacked. It's an awful-looking bishop. The knight, on the other hand, was going to be able to jump around and maybe jump around or just chill out on c3, and it was a better piece, in my opinion. Bishop's really bad. But you'll notice I sacrificed the queen, but I'm still ahead of rook because I didn't really lose too many pieces, right? Okay, what should we play? There is one move that stands out as the best move here. All right, if you had a chance to look at that, it's actually a trap, trapping the bishop. So we attack it, and it's trapped. It can't move anywhere. There's 2 attackers, 1 defender, and it's stuck. So we just win a piece. We just win the piece. I'll take it. Take it. Take this pawn. And again, I'm getting low on time. I want to finish off the game quickly and easily. What's the easiest thing to do? Get a queen. I don't even care. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to take these because they're far away from the king. And I'm going to get a queen. That's it. I don't have to really think about anything else. Take the pawn, get a queen. Of course, you could probably checkmate with your rook and your bishop and your pawn in some fancy way. Who cares? I'm rated 514. I'm Peter-Patzer. I'm rated 514. I'm going to get a queen. And I'm going to win. The only thing is don't stalemate, right? But he's got pawns. He's got pawns. He's got lots of pawns to move. He's got the king can move. There's no stalemate. I don't care. The only time I care is when you start to threaten to become a queen. Now I care. Now I'll take it back. Otherwise, I don't care. I have one goal and one goal only. Get a queen. Now, once you have a queen, now is when you start thinking about checkmates. So, do you guys see any checkmates? That is correct. Queen to d5 is checkmate because the pawn is controlling here. Queen to d5, checkmate. All right. Good game to the opponent. Let's check the game review. Let's update the win counter. 15 wins. There we go. And 87 accuracy. We had a brilliant move. What was the brilliant move? I'm wondering. Of course. We sacked the knight. We grabbed the queen. Cool. All right, guys. So the Blunder wheel still has quite a few options. But as a reminder, Chess Vibes Academy members, each week I put a post. You can add new suggestions on there. And if you have any other ones that you would like to see, hopefully this will scale with us as we move up the ranks. So like bigger blunders now, maybe more subtle mistakes later, and we try to come back against the higher rated opponents. So yeah, Chess Vibes Academy members, check that out. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you're learning something. Let me know in the comments if you're enjoying this. I will see you guys next time. As always, stay sharp, play smart, take care. And I wish I had something interesting to say about Peter-Patzer, but I don't know. See you next time.